All right, today we are diving into something that could seriously change how we build, well, pretty much everything. It's this new movement called vibe coding. And get this, it's all about turning a feeling into actual working software. So let's break down exactly how that's even possible. You know that feeling, right? You get this amazing idea for an app, or maybe a cool game, or just a simple website. And then that little voice kicks in. Yeah, but I don't know how to code. It's like this huge wall that stands between a great idea and actually making it. But what if that wall was starting to just crumble? What if you could build real software without typing a single line of code in the traditional sense? Well, guess what? A whole new approach is making that idea a reality right now. And this is it. It's called vibe coding. The simplest way to think about it is you're creating stuff just by describing it. So instead of feeding a computer super precise instructions, the rigid code, you just tell an AI, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. You describe the feeling you're going for. You give it the vibe. I mean, look at this comparison. It just shows the shift so perfectly. We're going from this old way, the complex symbolic stuff that you had to learn for years, to just plain English. The new way is literally just describing the goal, and the AI takes care of all that complicated syntax behind the scenes. Okay, so how does this actually work? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of coding by feel. It's this massive shift from super rigid logic to something that feels more like a creative chat. Here's a great way to think about it. It's kind of like ordering coffee, right? You don't walk up and give the barista a chemical formula for what you want. You don't specify the exact temperature of the milk. No, you just describe what you're in the mood for. Something bold, a little sweet, maybe with some cinnamon. And the barista, or in our case, the AI, takes that vibe and turns it into the real thing. So this whole thing really boils down to three core ideas. First up, intent over syntax. That just means your goal is what matters, not the picky details of the code. Second, the AI isn't just a mindless tool. It's more like a creative partner. You're working with it. And lastly, speed of thought. And this is huge. You can go from an idea in your head to a working prototype in like minutes. It's that fast. Okay, theory is one thing, but seeing is believing, right? So let's actually see this in action. We're going to do a super quick demo with a tool called AI Studio, just to show how you can take an abstract idea and make it real. All right, so it all kicks off with the prompt. And check this out. It doesn't say anything about fonts or hex codes for colors or what programming language to use. Nope. It just describes a feeling. 80s retrofuturism. I mean, that is super creative, but from a technical standpoint, it's really vague. And boom, the AI just gets to work instantly. First, it spits out the HTML. That's the basic skeleton of the web page. Then it cooks up the CSS for the visual style. It actually interprets retrofuturism and decides, okay, that means neon glow text and a dark grid background. And to top it off, it writes the JavaScript to add cool interactive stuff, like that classic scrolling text effect. Awesome. And just like that, it's done. I mean, think about that. From one single sentence describing a vibe, you get a fully functional, styled, interactive web page. It's kind of magical, really. A perfect example of turning a feeling into something you can actually click on. So, obviously, this has some huge implications. Let's zoom out and talk about what some are calling the vibe coding revolution. But it's really important to frame it correctly. Think of it as a powerful new tool, not necessarily a total replacement for what we have now. And this leads to the million-dollar question, the one on everybody's mind. If an AI can code just from a simple description, what does that mean for all the developers out there? I mean, is this the end of coding as we know it? Well, to get a real answer, you got to look at both sides of the coin, the good and the bad. The benefits? They're pretty obvious. It's incredibly fast. It lowers the barrier to entry, so anyone can create, and that just unleashes creativity. But there are challenges for sure. You give up a lot of that fine-tuned, granular control you'd get with a human coder. The AI can sometimes introduce weird little bugs that are hard to find, and honestly, it requires a whole new skill, learning how to write really good, effective, creative prompts. So who's really benefiting from this the most? Well, the biggest slice of the pie, a whopping 40%, is non-developers. We're talking about artists, entrepreneurs, you name it. Then you've got product managers who can now whip up prototypes in no time. Students are using it to learn in a more visual way. And yeah, even seasoned developers are getting in on it, using it to quickly get a first draft of a project off the ground. Okay, so let's wrap this up. What does all this mean for the future of making things? And maybe more importantly, what does it mean for you? Well, for you, it means your ideas can become real faster than ever. You get to focus on the big, exciting stuff, the what and the why, instead of getting stuck in the weeds of how. We're entering a whole new era where the main thing holding you back isn't your technical skill anymore. It's just the scope of your imagination. And that really brings us to the final, most exciting thought. For the first time, really, the tools to build things online are available to just about everyone. That wall between idea and creation, it's lower than it's ever been. So the question isn't, can you build it anymore? The real question is, what will you create?